What's up YouTube? Mike here from Techno GI, and it's been a little while since I've done a video, but this is one I'm kind of excited to do. And this is going to be kind of a short one, but it's because I've already done a review of the Surface 3, but I finally got my hands on the 4GB Surface 3 model. I've had it for about a week now, and I can definitely say without a doubt that this will and can replace your laptop and your tablet. I've been digging this thing, been loving it. As you see, I'm actually recording this audio with it, but I've already done a review which I'll put in the description of the Surface 3. There's no change in the hardware. Still got your 3-position kickstand. I did go with a different color type cover this time. I went with the bluish purple, more of a blue I guess, instead of the red. But again, loving this device. I mean, the performance of this is great. Honestly, there's things with this that actually I couldn't do on my Surface Pro 3 as far as it didn't do it as well, believe it or not. And gaming is one of those. Just playing Halo, Spartan Assault with this, when I would play that with my Surface 3, after about 5 minutes it would actually start to throttle, the fan would kick on and the frame rates would drop noticeably. With this, I've been unable to get this thing to throttle. I actually installed Adobe Premiere Pro Cc. And my last video, if you subscribe to my channel, I actually used this to edit it. Same thing, if you're watching this, I used this to edit it. And that was my biggest concern with this. I'm like, hey, can I really replace my laptop? Will this run Adobe Premiere? And sure enough, it does. And as I'm blabbering on, I'll try and kick in some video of when I edited a video with this. But to be honest with you, there was really no degradation or no lag when I was building the video, when I was putting it together. The only time where you really see the limitation of this is when you encode the video. So once I was done actually creating the video, when I went to encode it, my previous video I just did was 15 minutes long, almost on the dot. And I had actually merged and spliced quite a few videos, so it was kind of a busy video, but it took right around probably 30-35 minutes to encode it, which is not horrible. But like I said, the good thing is, you know, it's not like you're stuck. So while that's encoding, I can do other things. I can multitask with it still, and that's where the 4 gigabytes of RAM has really shined. I actually did a little test while it was encoding. I pulled up Halo, Spartan Assault, and I was playing it at the same time. And like I said, that's where that 4 gigs of RAM kind of kicks in for the multitasking. I mean, if you can only afford the 2 gigs and you don't really, you don't have the extra $100, don't sweat it. Like I said, you can see in my previous video also, I'll throw in the description, where I did a multitasking test with the 2 gig model. This, it just gives you a little more. You're using that 4 gigs instead of the virtual memory itself. But like I said, I've been extremely pleased, extremely happy with this. I mean, it's $599 for the 128 gigabyte model, as you see. And of course, I went ahead and got the pen, which is not required by any means, but I like to take digital notes, so this is $50, so I add that to it. And then the type cover, which really is not necessarily, I mean, it is an option, but you're missing out if you don't get this. I mean, this is a full PC, so it'll work with any Bluetooth keyboard you have, or wired keyboard for that matter. But this type cover is awesome. It really is. Backlit. I like how it feels when I type. The touch pad is great, but this will set you back another $129. So grand total, if I did my math right, will be $728 as I've got this configuration. And you might say to yourself, oh, that's crazy, you know, for an Atom tablet. But just to put it in perspective, the 128 gigabyte iPad Air 2 is $699, so $700. And that's, you're getting the iPad and the iPad only. That doesn't include any accessories. So $700 alone. And this, if you just get this, the tablet itself, you're only looking at $599. So this is actually cheaper than the iPad Air 2. And oh, by the way, that 128 gigabytes on this is expandable with an SD card up to 128 gigabytes more. So if you're talking about value, more bang for your buck, I mean, this just destroys the iPad when it comes to value. I mean, even buying this, the type cover, and this, you're still only a little bit more than you would be with the actual iPad Air 2 128 gigabyte model. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. You know, for instance, if you go to the Apple website and say you want to get just the smart cover, that thing's like 39 bucks, and then if you get the smart case, that's $79. So just kind of put it in perspective, because a lot of people kind of rag on this and say, hey, it's way overpriced, but not when you put it in perspective and what you can do, because this is a tablet, but again, this is a full PC. I've been running Adobe Premiere Pro Cc. I mean, that's a pretty heavyweight program, and I had no issue at all when I was editing, when I was creating. The only lag is when I'm encoding, and you know, I don't mind waiting the extra time that it would take. And obviously I know if you got an i7 with your 16 gigabytes of RAM, you know, you could probably encode the same video in a few minutes, but that's not the point. The point is what this is capable of, and for the form factor. I mean, look at this thing. It is just tiny. It is light, and that's why I wanted this over the Surface Pro 3. I know the Surface Pro 3 is more powerful, but I just love the portability of this and just how light it feels, the way it feels in the hand. I mean, this truly is a tablet. I mean, the form factor is perfect. Like I said, this really does replace my iPad for me. So, you know, the extra ports, I love it. And that's one thing I liked over the Surface Pro 3 is the charging port, which is a micro USB, also acts as another port. So I've got an OTG cable, so bam, I've got essentially 2 USB ports because of that, which I like, and that's something you don't get with the Surface 3. But like I said, I've been loving this tablet. I mean, it is by far my favorite tablet. I'm looking forward to getting Windows 10 to further expand the capabilities. But if you don't want to wait and you're still fussing about apps, I mean, it's called there's an app called Duos iOS or Duos OS, but essentially you can run Android on this, and I've tried it. I've been running it on there. At some point I'll do a demonstration video of that, but it works great. So the apps that you can't get in the Windows Store, if it's available on Android, you can still get it. It's an emulator, but it works well. So like I said, I've been enjoying this device. I highly recommend it. I mean, I can't stress enough that if you're in the market for a tablet or a PC and you were considering maybe buying an iPad, I mean, take a look, take a step back, take a deep breath, and kind of look at what you get for the money. I mean, an iPad is great for what it does, but it's just extremely limited. Even with the upcoming iOS 9, you still are not going to have near the functionality you can get with this. I mean, this will run any Windows program out there. Obviously, the more demanding the program, you may have to wait a little longer, but still, if you don't mind waiting an extra 10 minutes or whatever to encode a video, then it's great. Because, I mean, where else could you actually, in the field, on the go, you can encode, edit, create your videos or pictures with Adobe CS. I mean, like I said, it may take a little bit longer, but it'll do it. So that's pretty cool. That's something you could never do on an iPad. I mean, you'll never be able to do the quality of stuff that you can do on this with an iPad. I mean, you've got iMovie, which is really good. Even the mobile version on the iPad, I've used it, but it doesn't compare to Adobe Premiere Pro Cc. I mean, it's hands down, that's probably one of the best programs out there. And it's a very intensive, heavy program. So with that, hopefully as I've been blabbing, I was able to edit in my demo showing you what I do in Adobe. But again, great device. I could not be happier. I highly recommend this. I mean, this is probably my favorite Microsoft device, period. But it's actually my favorite tablet that I've come across in the last couple of years. And I've used a bunch of them. Pretty much everyone out there, anywhere from the Note 12.2 to the Note Pro 12.2 to the iPad, I've had it, I can own it, and I love this. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And again, check out my full review as far as on the 2 gigabyte model down below in the description. Like I said, there's really no change, so the review's not going to be any different. You've seen one unboxing, you've seen them all. But also, I am going to do a full comparison video of this versus the iPad Air 2. So if you'd like to see that, go ahead and subscribe so you can see when I post it. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching. My views are going up. I'm starting to get more subscribers, so I thank every single one of you guys that have subscribed. It means a lot to me, so I appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching.